The JavaScript math object allows you to perform mathematical tasks with numbers. It's one of the really cool things about it. And probably going to get a lot of use out of this math random. So just out of here, whenever we click the button, maybe you want to output some kind of random values. So let's just do output in our HTML. So again, we're using that same functionality that we did before, but we just added it in a text input here. We've got the same button. Let's click to that event listener that runs this function. And also we've got that document element by ID to select that output object from HTML code. So math, in order to use math, it's uppercase M, and then ath, and then to do math random, this is the object that's going to return that random number. So whenever I click update, I get just a completely random number here. And we do have some ability here to update the numbers that we're returning. So notice that they're all going to be anywhere from 0 to 1. And we've got a decimal and a bunch of characters here. So we ideally we might not want to have this type of random number, and we want to be able to set a more specific random number and have a value that's in between certain other numbers. So all we'd have to do now is just multiply it. So just multiply it by 100. I'll show you what happens now. So now we're getting numbers that are from 0 to 100, but we're still getting a bunch of these decimal places. So there is a solution to that as well. And that is going to be another math function. And we have this one called math floor, which actually floors that number all the way down to be an even number. So now we're doing numbers from 0 to 99. So it could fall anywhere in between there. We also have a difference here. We can do math ceiling as well. And what math ceiling will do, it will round it the opposite way. So it will round it up to the nearest integer. And also we have the ability to just do round. And this will actually round it to the nearest integer. So we see that whenever we're typing in there, we're getting this update. And I guess to better illustrate this, we're going to get rid of this math random. We're going to pick up that value that's contained within this input area, and we're going to show you how the rounding works. So first thing that I want to do is actually I want to get the value that's contained within the yval ID. So we're going to do it the same way as we've done before. We're going to use the variable yval and to get element by ID. So we are using that quite often. So get element by ID, and of course we need to do that document in front of it. So document get element by ID is just to pick up the value. So the object for that is val. So this is going to allow us to have that value. And maybe the first thing that I want to do is output the value. So I'm going to do a equals a plus and my val is equal to whatever the value of my val is going to be. And I'm going to add in another line break here so that it's a lot easier to read. And maybe we'll just keep this here as well. So I'll have another value here to a equals a plus whatever math is rounded there. And then simply there's just output a. So tidy that up, save it, and now whatever quoted number is put in there. So it's actually not outputting, and whenever we click it, we're not actually seeing anything here in the console either. So can any of you see what the error is and what the issue is? And I had placed getting that value from that text area. I've done the .val, and this is actually jQuery. So for JavaScript, it's just value, and then when we update these and click it, then we see that we are actually able to get the value that's coming from there. So if I put a value of 3 there, you get 3.4. I can see that I'm getting that value and it's updating. So one of the things with the value here is that we can round that up. So let's try to round that one up. And first we're gonna do a math ceiling and whatever value is being contained in there. So do you think this is actually going to round up the values? So if I have something like 4.555, this is going to come up as 5, or what do you think is going to happen here? And if you said we're rounding up to 5, you are correct. There is also, if I do floor, we're going to see that that same value of 4.555 now becomes 4 because we're rounding down. Then just that round is going to set it over to a rounded area. So what if we have something like some letters there or something like that, and we want to actually convert, we want to make sure that this value we're picking up is going to be numeric instead of a string value. So there is a way to do this as well, and this is going to be another built-in method that's available within JavaScript where we can actually convert string and string values into numeric values. And I'll show you how to do that in the upcoming lesson.